Hi guys, it's Sammie Sweets on Vulnerable Talk today. Ready to answer these questions. Let's get raw and real. You can find me at Dabberbaby on Instagram, DABBERY, BBY_. So you guys can get to know the real me.
What was it that drew you into getting into OnlyFans or sex work?
To be honest, I was going through a breakup and I needed to like find myself. So it wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, oh, I want to work in the adult industry. Like I've worked a lot of jobs before. I've been a waitress, I've been an aircraft mechanic, I've done a lot. So when I went through this breakup, I started dancing in Vegas. I had never stripped, nothing before ever. And it kind of like brings back your sexy. Like you're surrounded with beautiful women, and all these women are just doing their own thing. They're not worried about nobody else, just money. So you kind of get that, like, I don't know, like that glow up. I don't know. It just makes you like love yourself even more. So I started dancing, and then that just kind of opens the doors to so many other things.
What's one common misconception people have about sex work and OnlyFans creators?
That we're not like normal people. I feel like when people know that you have an OnlyFans, or people know that you do sex work, or that you're in the adult industry, they're so quick to judge, but they're the first person to purchase. They're so quick to hate on you, but they're the first people there like watching you on TV. Like it sucks because they don't think that like we're real people, but then at the same time they want to get to know us. So it's just, I think, just to understand that there's still a real person behind there. We're just putting on a show for your entertainment, and for them to understand that we still have feelings and we still have families. We're just making money in the adult way.
How did your friends and family react when you told them about your work? Were they supportive or did you have any that were really judgmental about it?
To be honest, I feel like the friends that were very judgmental, I no longer have. I feel like they've either weed themselves out, or I just kind of slowly dropped them, and that includes family as well. I'm very, very, very lucky to have my mom, because she is like one of the greatest support systems that I could have ever had. And I've had people ask her, like, how do you feel that your daughter's, working on OnlyFans or in the adult industry? And she tells them, like, I have no place to judge her. Like, she's who she is, and God created her the way He wanted her. And at the end of the day, she'll have to answer to Him. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel like at the end of the day, I have to answer to God. So nobody should be judging me or trying to construct my life or criticize my life when I'm living my own life. Like I'm paying my own bills. Like I'm doing me. Like nobody has the right to do that except for God. And my mom is one of the best support systems that I could have. And as long as she accepts it, I really don't care what anybody else thinks at all.
So if you met a really good person and they wanted to take care of you and they wanted you to stop, would you?
um, I want to say yes, because I have met really amazing people who have taken care of me and who don't like what I do. But initially, I have met them doing this type of work. So at first, they're like okay with it. But then the more they get to know you and the more they, crave your attention, the more they don't want anybody else to have it. So I can say yes, but at the same time, doing this type of work gives me so much freedom. Like I have freedom of schedule where I can do things when I want to do them, make plans with my family, plan vacations with my girls. Like I have freedom of schedule. I also have the money that I want to have that, maybe I didn't grow up with, and I can money manage well, invest in properties. I can, not that you can't do that, but it just makes it so much harder when you work in a 9 to 5 getting paid like $15 an hour. It's hard. Like you have to save. Plus, living in society is really hard. Everything's just so expensive. So I can say like I would, but I don't know. He would have to give me like a $30,000 allowance a month or something. I don't know.
I love that answer. Let's talk about your other professional establishment with the ranch. I know you do massages too, so let's talk about it.
So at the ranch, I do specialize in new room massages. If you've never heard of a new room massage, it's a massage where we use a special seaweed solution. So it's sort of slimy. Like if you ever like put a slime on you, it's like very slimy, but it's body to body energy. So you use all your muscles on all their bodies. So if you start on the back, like you would rub like your chest on them, you would, glide on them. It's basically like a slip and slide on a body. So you're not just massaging with your hands, you're using your elbows, you're using your knees, you're using your butt cheeks. Like you're using every part of your body to massage them because sometimes people just crave that like body to body touch. Like you'd be surprised on how many people would prefer cuddling over like the whole sex act itself. Like people just really want to be like touched and loved. So found Nuru to be one of those things that can connect me with my client, and they just like I become their therapist. Well, they'll just like spill out all of their emotions just based off of that like touching interaction. So I do that there and more.
How did you get into working at the ranch?
He's a partial owner of the ranch, Larry Flint. I was dancing at Hustlers in Vegas, and he also is a partial owner of Hustlers. So when you go to make your account, they have you do it online. And I saw that the Hustlers was a partial owner of Little Darlings and Deja Vu's, and then the ranch I'm at. So I went and I applied. I didn't think that I would ever get hired because I have never done this type of work ever in my life. I'm still a newbie. Like I'm only 4 years down, like 4 years down. So I'm still new, but I didn't think that I would get hired. Once they did hire me, it was like eye opening to so many things like protection, lubrication, just like checking for STDs. Like people just, they're so blinded in real life to when you're exposed to it in a profession. It's like, oh, wow. So I never thought in a million years that that's where I would be working or that's the type of job that I'd be at. But it's very eye opening and I love it.
So let's talk about the testing and how important it is. What is your advice on that?
Testing is so important. If you do not get tested, you need to get tested. Everybody needs to get tested at least once a month, once every couple months, if you're sleeping around. If you have the same partner, yeah, I could see you not getting tested, but I was in a relationship for 10 years and I never got tested, and my ex was cheating on me all the time. So to not know this knowledge before that, I know now, like I was crazy. I have friends that I hang out with that we go to like the club, and they take home different girls all the time. And that just like seeing that makes me nervous because nobody even wants to use condoms anymore. So it's even worse. Like, yes, get tested. At work, I get tested every week. If I'm doing a 2-week tour, then that means every Monday I'm getting tested. If I go in for an appointment, that means 24 hours before my appointment, I'll go get tested. Like it is very important to always get tested because not all STDs have symptoms, and you really don't know.
How does this job affect you mentally? Do you feel like it's better for you mentally or is it hard mentally?
I think that to work this type of job, you have to be strong mentally. And if you're not strong mentally, it's going to make you strong mentally. So many people will come to you with their stories of like why they're even there to begin with, whether it's relationship problems, and they pour onto you and you become their therapist, which is really hard to handle sometimes because these stories are like messed up stories, and you have to make your client feel like, they're king on top of the world. So you listen and you comfort them, but in your insides, you're just like dying, like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is what they're saying. I had a client commit suicide in April. It was a year. He was a military brat. So he had told me how he moved around. He was never like liked. And it was really sad. So when I found out that he committed suicide, I had to talk to the detective because I was the last one to like have contact with him. I was the last one to be alive with him. And I didn't know what to say because I was listening to him, but I just seen it like work. So I didn't remember like a lot of things that he said. And to me, that ate me up for a while because I'm like, here this guy was like really pouring out all his emotions to me. And I just seen it like another day at work. And then he wrote about me in his suicide note. He had put that like Sammy was like such a great person. She showed me that there was like more to life than what I was living. I'm not oblivious. Like I know she wasn't in love with me, but she really did make me feel loved. And I was just like doing work. So I felt like that was like me maybe not being so open because like taking on too much is also like a lot. So I tend to close myself out to where I can work enough to where I don't like hold all these different energies with me, you know? But you really do have to have a strong mindset because you go through things mentally. Like people don't see you the same way. Like you're almost looked like dirty, if that makes sense. And that's like hard to like handle. So yeah.
That was great.
This work is hard. People think it's so easy, like, "Oh, I can just go have sex and charge somebody." Like, no, you can't. You have to mentally be prepared. Like, some girls see attachment with sex. You can't just have like a one night stand because then you're stalker 101 calling the person 24/7, you know? Like, so when you have to just like do your job, where it's like, okay, you're one and done, like you learn, like, okay, how much money did it make off this? You don't tend to keep your emotions connected. So it is hard because in real life you have to have emotions. So if I meet someone like
Do you find ways to cleanse at the end of, your day of working or at the end of the week, like meditating? Is there anything that you do to kinda cleanse from the week you went through, with all those emotions that you hold on to with everybody's
yeah,
energy?
I sage a lot. So I've not only just saged like my workspace at work, but like I'll take that shit home and I sage my house. I do a lot of meditating. I have done a lot of Reiki healing. I've done Reiki sessions. I have done two DMT healing ceremonies in the past, and I've done a combo healing ceremony in the past. Because it's not even just that type of work. You really just carry a lot of energy with everybody you come in contact to within your daily life. So I like to cleanse to stay grounded. I like to journal to stay grounded. I meditate a lot. I do a lot of breath work. I've been knocked off to where I don't feel like normal or like I don't feel like myself. So I feel like it's very important to try to stay as grounded as possible. So if I don't do it, then I tend to take that energy home with me and I don't want an unbalanced household either. I do a lot of meditating and saging. And then you exchange stories with like girls in the house and I think that's what makes this kind of work like where we have to have strong stomachs because like pedophilia is real. Like it happens everywhere. Like everywhere you go, it's everywhere. If I think a big misconception is like people think that if you're in the adult industry, or if you're like a porn star, if you do OnlyFans, if you're working at a brothel, like you've been molested or you've been raped or touched or something as a kid because they just assume that that's how it is. Like you go through this traumatic thing, then you become a sex worker, and it's not like that. Like we had guys come in there who have asked girls that I work with to like dress a certain way. Say it's like a little cheerleader, wear like Hello Kitty outfits. And during the session, like tell him like, oh yeah, you're um I'm gonna call you or whatever and like say a name, just random name. And the whole time during the session, like say the little girls say the name, and then at the end of the session find out that that was like their granddaughter's name or their little sister's name or so like they bring their pedophilia out in real life. Obviously, like we're adults and we're all of age, but I just think like it's sad because you don't know where that backstory went. You don't know if that was something going on like in their home. So when you hear it, like, yeah, that's my niece's name or that was my granddaughter's name, and you're in the middle of this session and they're calling you this other name, it's mentally hard for you because now you're thinking like, oh my God, like I'm fucking with a molester or rapist or something and you're grown and this is an act that they're paying you for. So it's very mentally draining sometimes.
I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Do you ever tell your relationships about what you do? And does it affect your dating side of things?
When I meet people, I always tell them what I do. Like it's very rare that I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm this or I'm that because once they find out, it's even worse. Like you can have somebody like you for you and it's like once they know exactly what you do or they find out that you're on OnlyFans, then you're like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't be in that type of industry, or I don't want you to do that. I don't need everybody to see what I have type thing. And it becomes hard. Like I've had fuck buddies in the past that I only have messed with like two. When they found out I was doing OnlyFans, like I had asked because it went on for like a couple years, like 2, 3 years. Like, why haven't we ever went exclusive? Like, we're with each other, this many times a week. Like, why haven't we ever went exclusive? And they've told me like flat out, like it's because what you do is not classy. Like, you're not classy. And I get that, and I get that that's what a lot of men may think, but, like, I'm not asking anybody for support. Like, I support myself, my household's fine, my bills are paid, everybody's fed. Like, I don't need anybody else's support. I want a partner to bring, I don't know, comfort to my life, you know what I mean? And I've been told a few times, like, "Well, you're not classy. Like, how could you expect any person to take you serious when people have seen you naked or other people have seen it?" And I get it, but if you truly love somebody, like, and understand that like that's a job that's being filmed, like they may be a whole character in that action, but when you're home, like that's the real them. Like, you get the domesticated part of me versus what's online for people to see. So dating is hard, and I think I've kind of like given up on it, like I said, there is a person that is very special to me who does treat me like a princess, but even that, in the ways that we met and like the background behind it, like I don't know if I could date.
So, what would your ideal partner look like for you who understands and supports your work?
I just want to be accepted for me and my family. Like, I don't want somebody to say like they're okay with it, and then once they start feeling that, "Oh my god, I'm so in love with you" type feeling, they want to change you. Like, I don't want that. Like, it took me a long time to get where I'm at, and I don't want somebody to try to change me because they're uncomfortable with what I'm doing. Like, I went through narcissism, I went through gaslighting, I went through domestic violence relationships. So this is like the first time in my life where I feel like I'm me. Like, I don't have to answer to anybody. So if I can find somebody who is accepting of me and not trying to change me after 3 months of falling in love, or 6 months or a year, and just understand that like I also deserve to like be myself and not have to change for anybody, then yeah, I could see it. But there's just so much more that comes to like this type of lifestyle. Like, it's hard to have somebody take you serious or know if they're really have like your true intentions at heart, because not everybody sees you for human, and sometimes people are just soul suckers or energy suckers, and they want what you have, and that's even more dangerous. It's like falling for somebody who wants to be in the position that you're in. Like, adult industry, their first question is like, why are you safe? Like, do you get tested? When it's like so not even that. Like, I don't want to be at a table where I'm being judged, or hang out in a friend group where secretly they're all talking about you because of what you do. Like, there's enough money in this world for everybody to win and not be envious of one another. And that's all it is. Like, they're envious with hate, and it's crazy. So like, my friend group is small, like my family group is small. Like, when I do things, I make sure I count like my normal 5 people that I'm gonna do things with. Like, it's hard to open up yourself to people. Even having a friend who you think is like the closest friend to you, but secretly they want your spot and secretly they want your position, is like the most dangerous thing. And I've had that happen to me twice. And I'm so open and I'm so loving that I just accept all these people into my life. And they've completely like fucked me over and like turned like my life upside down to where I've had to like grow. I'm like, okay, that was the old me. I need to shed that skin and like regrow, because it's dangerous. And when you just start allowing people into your circle, you're allowing that negative energy, and you don't even know it's negative until you see it for your eyes and you're like, bro, they were negative the whole time. Like, they were bringing bad vibes the whole time. But because you're so open, you just allow it and allow it. Like, nope, I had to cut that shit off real quick because I've been burned so many times, especially in this industry.
Is there any red flags in friendships that you watch out for now that you know to be aware of?
I don't know, I just don't trust people, like, I don't, like and I try my hardest too, but, like, once something funny happens or, like, they say something funny, like, I wanna be like, "Oh, they were drunk," but s no, like, even with alcohol, like, some of your truth comes out, like, yeah, I wanna say that I'm just more, like, closed off now versus, like, what I was, but if anything, it's better for me because I feel like I'm elevating as a person, and I'm actually growing versus allowing all these different energies to come in and, like, staying at a standstill.
So let's talk about money wise. How do you manage with this type of career, like managing money? I know it could be a lot harder than having a regular 9 to 5. So
I think money managing is very, very, very important. You could have a month where you make 20,000. You could have a month where you make 6,000. With rent and bills, it's a lot. Groceries are so expensive. Gas is so expensive. So if you make 10,000 and then you spend 7 out of it, that leaves you a few thousand to pay everything. Like you really have to money manage because your next month you may not do as good. Like you could do your numbers could be really high January, February, not so good, March, not so good, but then April have like double the amount of what you made in January. Yeah, it saves you, but in order to not fall behind, like you really have to money manage. Like you really need to get like your bank accounts in order, like pay yourself through LLCs. Like you just really, really have to money manage wisely or you will end up broke. And it's really easy to live paycheck to paycheck being an independent contractor because you're working at your own pace, but all you're doing is creating havoc for yourself if you are not money managing well. Like nobody wants to be broke. And when you don't have that secure 9 to 5, you will easily fall in that bracket of being broke if you do not money manage correctly.
what's advice that you would give to somebody who came to you that wanted to get into OnlyFans and maybe going to a ranch as well, making it their career that's barely starting off?
I would definitely say try other jobs first. And that's not like throwing shade at OnlyFans or throwing shade at being a content creator or even working at a ranch. I would just say to try other jobs first because this road can lead down a dark road if you are not ready for it. I also think that girls in this industry should not be in this industry till they're a little older because I think by like 25, that's when your mind kind of knows right from wrong. And before then, it's so easy to get manipulated by other things that come in this industry. Um, so I would really say like try another job first. And if you have exhausted all of your options, then yeah, I could see you wanting to come into OnlyFans or I could see you wanting to do a ranch. But just understand that this life is not a fast life. Like the movies put it out there to be like where you're just fast all the time. It's not like that. This type of industry really takes time. It really takes patience because there's just there's so much. You can't just have all your money in one account because now you're dealing with like the IRS. Like you have to know how to like have your LLCs to pay into businesses so that you can get paid in all the right places and cover your ass through everything. You need to have like business insurance. Like there's so much even as a dancer in Vegas, like you have to have a business license or you can't even dance as a dancer in Vegas. You can't just go to a club and be like, "Hey, can I work here?" Like there's other things that you need to work. And I'm not saying that the adult industry is not the way to go because I love it, but I also exhausted other options before coming in here. So I would just say exhaust other options. And if it is right for you, it's gonna just you'll see it flow so naturally. But if you do start it and you're like, oh, it's not for me after a month, give it time because nothing is gonna make you this money overnight. Like you see these girls that have like all these different Instagrams or like bop houses and stuff. Like that doesn't happen to everybody. That's social media. Like you need to give it time if you feel like this is where you want to go and possibly get in with like an OnlyFans agency, but also do your research because I've been screwed by two OnlyFans agencies. So it's real important to just do your homework however you want to go. But if it is for you, I can't knock it because I'm here.
Can you break down the major costs that go into working at the ranch?
Ooh, there's a lot. um, well, first, every time you go, you have to get tested, so that's a mandatory. So that's a cost that comes out of our pocket. Every time we go in for a tour, we do have to get our sheriff's card, which is we get fingerprinted through the county. So in order to work at a professional establishment, you have to make sure that like you are clean. So they do the testing first. Once you pass the testing, you get fingerprinted. We also pay for that. Once you get fingerprinted, then they release you to the house so you can work. Once you're let into the house, you have to now worry about your room. Each girl gets their own individual room. So decorations to make your room feel more to life, more you. Every girl has a different style. So you would pay for that. That all comes out of your cost. Condoms, you also have to pay for. And condoms, there is a lot of different sizes. So it's not just one size fits all. So you have to pay for every different size that you do. There's also female condoms. So for y'all that don't know, there's female condoms. We have to pay for that as well. Dental dam, if you are trying to do oral sex with a female and you want to be safe, you use dental dam. It's like saran wrap paper. You have to pay for that. Now they have like new little underwears that you can use. Like if a man wants to do oral and you're afraid he's going to lift the little plastic where it's I forget what they're called. I think they're called demis. I could be wrong. But it's underwear that goes on and it's basically a built-in dental dam. So they can't lift it, they can't move it. It stays on you at all times. So you can also use it for somebody who just wants to cuddle naked type thing. So we pay for that. Any type of lubes we have to pay for. What else? There's a lot of things. Say you had a client come in and it was like his anniversary and he wanted to do a camping party. Okay, you would have to pay for everything when it comes to like making your s'mores, your drinks that you would have to use, your sleeping bags, like everything that goes into your session, you pay for. The house is literally just a house that you're going to work at. You're renting them the space to work at. And then they still take a percentage of your earnings. So, yeah, so you don't get to make all of that either. They take a percentage of your tips, so you don't even get your whole tips either. If you take a limo ride, they take a percentage of the limo ride, so that money comes out of your money as well. So you pay for everything. So if it's not beneficial to the courtesan to negotiate and make that purchase or make that negotiation work, it's just not going to happen because we put so much money into the sessions that we have to be able to get it back or it's just not worth it for us. Like everything that you could think of, we pay for. The only thing the house provides is a place for you to operate your business.
Do they provide the clientele or is it kinda you and nothing? Like, can you go a day without
Oh
no
yeah.
clients, weeks?
Yes, so the way the tours work is they're 7-day tours. So you'll get girls that are work like one tour and then they'll go home for like 3 weeks and then come back for one tour, go home for 3 weeks, come back. Or you'll get traditionally girls will go in, they'll work 2 weeks, they leave for 2 weeks, work 2 weeks, leave for 2 weeks. We have girls from all over, from Florida, from Colombia, from Brazil, and they fly out there. So it's a long trip for them. So in 7 days, let's say, because we rely on foot traffic, we rely on people to walk in foot traffic, but you can't advertise a ranch because there's a fine line between like advertising and soliciting. So you can't advertise because it's an adult establishment that people pay for adult things. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, here. Now you walk the strip and you get those cards of people. A lot of times it's illegal or you're going to get scammed. A lot of times. But here it's like it's legal. So usually when people call to make an appointment, they mean business. Like they've already looked into it, they've read your reviews. Each girl will have reviews on them. So like it benefits the girl when the clients kind of go out and pick them themselves because foot traffic is not always good traffic. Like you'll get people that come in because they watch what's on TV thinking like $100 is going to get you like this extravagant party and that may only get you like a handshake or something. Like it's a lot. Like, yeah.
So I think I'm not gonna say where, but I know you work out of state. You're not that's not in California,
Yeah.
correct? Um, what advice to people in California? Because I think in California, correct me if I'm
You
wrong.
could say Nevada, because
Okay,
there's
extended
in
about.
Nevada, there's a lot. It's not just R2. In Reno, they have a
Oh,
street that has like 7.
okay.
So Lamar Odom, that's where he OD'd, was at the one in Reno. So Reno has the Bunny Ranch, the Love Ranch, the Mustang Ranch. In Elk, I think it's called Elkwood or Elk, I don't know. They have Bella's Ranch. They have Alien Ranch out here. There's Sherry's Ranch and then Chicken Ranch. So they're everywhere. It's not just they're more in Nevada because it's legal in Nevada because we have to get fingerprinted. It's legal. Like they have their ins. I think the way it worked is like you had to buy the license like years ago. So that's why all the Nevada people bought their license, but I could be wrong. I could be really wrong. If you ever seen the movie Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton, that's what the ranch is based off of. Like it's the true story of how they had to move the ranch from Texas to Nevada because in Texas it kept getting burnt down because there was so many that there was a competition. So then we brought it to Nevada. It became legal, but only in certain counties. So up in Reno, the street that they have them, there's like 6 or 7 of them that are all opened. And then in Pahrump, there's 2. And then if you go more on the edge of California, there's Alien Ranch, and that one's legal too. So they're everywhere, but they're just spread out because the counties had to get proper licensing back in the day.
Age wise, like, how does that work out in
So
Nevada?
where I work, it's 21 and over. The house next to our house is also 21 and over. Aliens is 21 and over. But in Reno, because it's a different county, they all start at 18. Again, I'm not banging or knocking on anybody. I just feel like they should be a little older. When I look at an 18-year-old, I feel like they're still a baby. And I know there's girls that started in the strip clubs at like 16, 17, to each their own, but no, I where we work, it's 21 and over.
So now let's talk about tax business write-offs. What would you say about all that that people should know?
You should definitely keep receipts of everything. If you get any type of maintenance done, your hair, your nails, skincare, facials, massages, save receipts for all of that because you can write all of that off. That's part of your business and your upkeep to keep your business going. You are your business. You're a walking business. So anything that you can do that provides hydration, say you wanted a vitamin treatment, a vitamin infusion, say you just needed a spa day, everybody needs a mental health day, so you could cover all of that with your taxes, but save everything because the more you can write off, the more beneficial it is for you because everything you're doing is going into your business. I mean, you're already keeping yourself up and making yourself feel pretty and just taking care of yourself like as a human being. So why not write it all off because you're also your business? Like anything, healthcare, ginger shots. Like we have to provide our own healthcare. The house doesn't provide anything. Like we have to provide everything. If we're sick, it comes out of our pocket. Like if your client happens to hurt themselves, your business insurance, business license covers all that. It's not the house. Like you have to cover them. So we just have to make sure that like everything is always in line because when it comes down to filing taxes because it's a little different, you have to lay everything out. It's not like a W-2, we get a 1099. So you have to write everything off.
Anything else in this business that you feel like people should know? Or do you feel like you covered everything for everybody?
I think I covered everything. If anything, I would just say that maybe just don't be so quick to glamorize it. Don't be so quick to think that every girl is going to make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because it takes time and it takes work and every girl is different. Every business is different. If it's something that you want to do, take your time with it and really fill it out because it's not for everybody. That's what I'm telling you. Like, people talk about like the brothels, but they don't talk about the brothels. Like, we cater to so many people. Like, it's not just husbands. We get husbands and wives come in there, and the wives will pick the girl for the husband. Like, oh, I can't have sex anymore. I can't perform anymore due to like mental illness or due to like health conditions. So they choose, or you'll get couples that come in there where like the wife will just want to watch or the husband will just want to watch. Like you'll get people that came in there that their wives died and they don't want to go and date. So they'll come and, you know, go there. You'll get dad and sons that come in, mom and sons that come in. Like you get people that are military vets that come in, like amputees that come in. Like they don't want to go to a bar and try to pick up on people. Like every situation and every story is different. You get politicians that come in there, celebrities that come in there. You'll get like basketball players that come in there, especially because Vegas is right there. Like you get people that just don't who want to still have fun but not have the fuss of dealing with like some crazy bitch calling your phone after or people trying to like be crazy. Like it's where even like swingers clubs can kind of get like that too. Like you go to a swingers club, you can meet people that get like clean gear attached. It's like different here. Like people come with the niche. There's people that come in who want to walk around in their bras and underwear. My old boss from I worked at for like 7 years growing up throughout high school. He came in and he picked me. And I was like, "Do you remember that I worked for you?" He's like, "Can I tell you like a secret?" He's like, "Ever since you were 15, I wanted to do this with you." I'm like, "That's nasty." One. Yeah, I'm in my 30s, but that's nasty that you even said that. And then he took off his clothes and he was wearing red lingerie, like a red bra and red panties. And he paid for me to give him a wedgie for the whole time that I was in there. And that's what he wanted. So it's like I've had clients, like I've had autistic clients who have paid me to watch scary movies with them because they just want to watch a movie with somebody and because they look scary. Like he shot himself in the head because he said he was tired of everybody trying to control him because he was autistic. So he shot himself. He survived, but now he looks scary. So he comes in to literally watch movies. Like it's not all sexual. Like I've said this so many times. I have more sex in my real life than I do in my work life. Because in my work life I could sit for 2 weeks and have like one or two clients. I could work for 1 week straight and have zero clients and then the next week have like four. So it just depends. Every day is different. I could work all 7 days and have a client every day. So it just every single day is different. So
And like you said, it's not all sexual, so sometimes some people just wanna talk or
yeah, we had these twins that used to work there, and there was this guy who bought a blow up pool, and he ordered like 10 or 20 pounds of pie filling, and he wanted them to wrestle in the pie filling. And that's literally what he paid for as a session was to watch them wrestle in pie filling. And I was like, people just think that like if we could put our sessions on camera and be like, this is like what people pay for, it's not just sexual things, and people would see like people have different fetishes that they want like brought to life. Like we get sissy parties. Well, like guys will come in and they just want to dress up, but have that freedom to dress up and not be told like you look gay or anything like that. Like they want the freedom to like not be judged. So they go there so they can walk around in their high heels, their stilettos, and not be judged.
that's what I was gonna say too. It's like you all give other people that comfortability to do things that they probably can't do at home
Oh
that they
yeah.
think they're gonna be judged for.
You just like hook up with somebody and you're giving them like a blowjob and the guy tells you like put your finger in my ass. Instantly the girl's gonna be like, what the fuck? But it's not a nasty thing. Like it's not a disgusting thing. Like their G spot is right there. So if that's something that the man feels is like good to him and he's expressing it sexually to whoever he's having sex with, they should be okay with it. But because we're in a society where people just are so ashamed to talk about sex or so ashamed to like speak up on what they really want, they don't do it because then instantly she'll be like, "Are you fucking gay?" Like instantly. It's like how guys will walk around and be like, "I'm the best pussy eater. I know how to eat pussy like nobody's business." But then they go down there and they're like, "Bro, like what are you doing?" But because so many girls lie to them and be like, "Oh, it feels good. It feels good. It feels good." But because they're afraid to express what actually makes them feel good versus like letting somebody figure it out themselves.
I noticed that too. A lot of people are very judgmental when it
Very.
comes especially when it comes to a man.
Hmm.
Like they can't do or like certain things, otherwise it's weird or they're like,
Or it's gay.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Because people just are, they're so close minded because I think that sex wasn't like a big issue or like a big thing to talk about back then. Like our parents didn't really talk about it. Like they may have been open, but they didn't really talk about it. And the more that society goes on, you can find that shit anywhere, like anywhere. So people are a little bit more open, but they're more judgy towards men because now men are looked at like these macho men, like they shouldn't like anything extra. And it's not fair because they also have feelings. They're also fucking they also want to feel good. It's not just women, you know?
I agree.
Honestly, it's up to you and how you want to advertise your business. Like as much as you push, like I can post about massages all day long on my Instagram and I'll have people in my DMs like, well, how do I book? How do I book? But then you give them the details on how to book or like put the deposit and then everyone's like, oh, well, I could pay next week or like maybe next month. Like, please just don't look into it unless you're like being legit because everybody has questions. There's no harm in asking questions, but don't act like you're a potential client if you're not going to be one.
Okay, so because you said that, what are the don'ts that you prefer clients not to like say? Hold on, let me rephrase that real quick. Because you know how you just said if you're not like a upcoming, like if you're actually really not going to book and you're just asking questions, like is there anything that like you feel like, hey, if you're going to book, make sure you're not like doing these things or like, you know, when you're a dancer, like I hate like, so when I used to be a dancer, it's like, okay, like you're here, but like you didn't bring no money with you. Like why?
Exactly, where they come to just watch for free. Like, why are you here? Like, for what? Yeah, I tell people that all the time. Like, if you get a negotiation and let's say he only has like $300, one, you know you're driving out an hour and 15, 20 minutes from Vegas, like from the strip. You know you're driving out that far. Why would you only go with like $300 thinking you're going to get like this big extravagant thing? Because even for like porn, for instance, you pay a lot of money for like a video that you can enjoy in the comfort of your own home type thing. This is in person. And it's at an establishment where it's like clean and tested. So yeah, I personally get like that where they'll come with like a low budget and you're like, why would you even drive all the way out here for? But everybody's budget's different and it's to each his own. To the girl who like wants to negotiate with like a smaller budget, like you can get people that will bring in 500 versus like 50,000. You can get people that bring in 1,000 versus like 80,000. Like I've seen girls book for like 80, 90,000. I've seen girls book for 20,000. I've seen guys come for 10,000 5 days in a row. So every single girl is different. And like I said, there's enough money in the world for everybody to win. So there's like no gatekeeping. Like come and I'll try to help you. Like, I don't know. Like you see all different types of pricing. All different types of pricing. So if you know that they're like legit, a lot of times they're like, okay, here's a deposit. But if there's no deposit, they're just asking to ask. Sometimes guys get off on just talking back and forth to you through the internet. It's like their highlight of their day. There's a lot of lonely people out there. If you've ever gone through like a bad relationship, bad breakup, narcissism, gaslighting, like don't think you're down. Like you can always come back from it. You just got to self heal. Love yourself. Love yourself to the fullest so that you can love on other people. And if this is something that you want to do, just do your research. Don't just jump into it because it's not for everybody. And you really have to have a strong, like, mental state of mind.
So I want to talk about you before all of this. I know you were in a relationship. I think you did some surrogacies. You had a totally different job. Like you had a totally different lifestyle than what you have now. So I want to talk about her now, like who that person was then.
Well, before all of this, I was married. I was married for almost 10 years to a man, but I want to say that was one of like the hardest relationships I was in just because it was like a very groomed relationship. He was older than me. I got pregnant really young and I was kind of just forced into this relationship. We had to get married like right away. Um, and I don't think I ever like loved him. I think that I just kind of lived in the relationship until I learned to love him. And I dealt with a lot of domestic violence in that relationship and a lot of pedophilia. So it broke me as like a human because that was like my first taste of like being like in my 20s, and like my ex messing with like a 14-year-old. Like I mentally didn't know how to handle it because I was also very young. But I was taught growing up that like when you're married, you stay with your partner no matter what. And I wanted my family to have like a mom and a dad. Like I didn't want to grow up in a broken home because that's what I grew up in. Like my mom wasn't with my dad. And I didn't want that. So I stayed there and stayed there and stayed there, and like nothing got better. So I finally like left that relationship because I couldn't like take it anymore. And I met my ex, who was a girl, in the midst of all of that. That relationship, I could say, like broke me. Ugh, even thinking about her gets me so mad. It broke me so much because I also had to go through the whole pedophilia thing all over again, all over again. So in my head, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I have stretch marks, like, like I had kids, like I have like a family, like I had a job, like I had my own car, like I could drive. And these older people are looking for kids. Like I didn't get it. Like I caught my ex-girlfriend messing with a 15-year-old, and I actually pulled up on her, like messing with the 15-year-old. And I had the spare key in my hand, and like all I could think about was like, calm down, like don't touch this bitch. She's a minor, like you're gonna go to jail, like don't do it. So as soon as I got out of the car, she took off. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, I was left there like, what do I do? Like I was so domesticated. Like I made this girl like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I just went out of a really bad relationship to end up in another really bad relationship. Like we had two different houses together. Like she was in my family. Like my parents knew her, my cousins, aunts, uncles, like everybody knew this girl, and I already told her about the negative stuff that happened in the relationship beforehand. So it's like you're entrusting this person to take care of you who knows that you've been traumatized to trauma you even more. And I felt like I wouldn't survive from that. It was such a hard breakup to go through because it happened again with a minor that I questioned myself for a long time, that I didn't want to be alive anymore. Like, I had to go through therapy, um, just to like remind myself that like I was enough, because it could really just take one person to break you down, and you could get lost in that if you don't try to find like the brighter picture at the end of the tunnel. And I went through therapy. I moved out of state. Like I had to get the hell out of California. Um, and I learned so much self-love, where now looking back, like I had to go through all of that stuff in order to be like who I am today. Like mentally, just in order to be where I am, like I've learned so much about me going through all of that stuff, where I would never want anything like that to happen to any of my family or my friends. So where I can be that support system for them, you know? I think that that's why I'm very closed off when it comes to relationships, because I've been hurt like by both men and female. And I can't even sit here and tell you like the hurt is different. I could just tell you that like for me personally, because it had to deal with kids or like pedophilia, I see myself very different than like how other people see me. And I think that that's like still something that I struggle with now till today. Like I just got surgery. So like I know that like I'm smaller than what I was, but when I look at myself, I don't feel like that. So I haven't fully like accepted it yet, because in my brain I'm just so much bigger. In my brain I'm so like I look like this because I've had to deal with comparing myself to kids, which is so bad to say, or like so nasty to even think about. But because how could you be with a woman and then cheat with a kid? And they both had governmental jobs. Like my ex-girlfriend was in the we worked in aerospace, and she was on a DOD side, so she had to get a clearance through the government. And she was messing with a 15-year-old. My ex-husband was working for the city, messing with a 14-year-old. So it's like these are just pedophiles that are just out there, and you don't know who they are until you really see like their true colors. And I think that's why my guard just went straight up there, because nowadays these younger girls just look so much older. So if it fucks with my mind a lot. So that was me before. Now I've literally grown into who I am and just learned a lot of self-love. I think I just got emotional because having to rethink of like those emotions, or like going back to that space. Like, I can't believe that I've grown from there. And at that time, I didn't think that that was possible, like at all. Like, I was in such a dark place where I wouldn't have been like, oh, well, 4 years from now, you're going to be excelled and you're going to be, living on your own, having this and that. Like, I would have never thought that, because I was so broken. But I think going through all that made me who I am. So at the end of the day, I'm happy I went through it all. I needed it to grow. And I think you grow as an individual when you're alone for a long period of time. Like, you learn so much about yourself. So I am grateful for that.
So what would you tell your younger self during that time if you could give her advice?
Probably just to love myself and don't be so quick to just accept love from people, because people want it all for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
Obviously, I've had you on social media for a really long time, a really long time. And I was telling him too, like, not just like look wise, but your whole glow up since that breakup, like, just even like you could tell, like, even on your personality from when I would talk to you then compared to now is completely different. It's like two completely different people. Like, you glow up on the outside, the inside, and completely like just took off, which is crazy because you don't really see that a lot. You see people just fall off and jump from relationship.
When I was dating my ex-husband, I would do music videos, like a lot of, I'd be in like a lot of videos for extras and like photo shoots. Like, I got into modeling, and he was so possessive and so jealous that I had to quit it all. So I was recently showing them like the videos that I was in. Like, why did you make him like, why did you allow him to make you stop? Like, why did you do that? Like, why didn't you just keep going? But because I was so trained that like you do whatever your husband tells you, like your husband first, it's God and then your husband, God and then your husband. So he didn't like it, I didn't do it. And even then, like the pictures from back then, like from when I was married to when I was with my ex-girlfriend to like now, like I looked so much older then, like underneath versus to like the media, because there's just a look about them. Like, they just look like sadness from inside out. Like when you touch the ball. Like, I went through that. I was, even with them, like I fought with them all the time. Like, my biggest thing was putting people before my kids. Like, in my marriage, I put my husband before my kids. No matter how bad he was to me, no matter how many times like he hit me, no matter how many times he hit them, I always put him first, because that's what the church and everybody tells you to do. And then I got with I wanted to please her so much that I put her before them. So after it all, like being alone, like I literally vowed to them and I vowed to God that I would never, ever, ever put anything before them. And that's why I am in the position that I'm in now, because the job that I have allows me to do it by myself, that I don't need help, and then I can take care of them alone. And they have the life that they have without having to deal with drama and fighting. And I'm there for them. So I didn't know how to be a mom. Like, I had to learn how to be a mom. And that shit is hard. Like, I didn't know if I loved my kids because I love them, because they're my kids, or if I love them like how you love somebody else until working in this industry and being away from them for like 1 or 2 weeks at a time. Like I fucking love these kids, you know? Like they're not just kids that I have to take care of, make sure they grow up. And I think with my oldest son, I treated him like that because I was still so young where it was like survival mode. So they get a different version of me. But because I had to learn that I had to be that person, like I had to learn how to be better and not put somebody before them because I was so tired of putting people before them that they never got the full me. And now I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to date or share that spot with them because they deserve all of me, you know?